Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Simone was born as an auti-spiral. And yeah, in the last video yesterday, after I put it up, I checked it today, and it was at 4 likes already. So I know this video will be like, what if Simone was born as an auti-spiral? Then tomorrow I'll do the what if him like kill kill. I like to call it kill all kill. Means the Simone for tomorrow, or at some point of today. Hey, at some point. So yeah. So let's begin with the auti-spiral war, or actually when Simone was born as the auti-spiral. Anti-spirals were at first were like what they said in the anime. They used to be people like us that knew spiral power. So, but Zuko, or not Zuko, I keep saying that. Simone was born as a anti-spiral, as he was a real tough guy. Yeah. At first, he didn't have siblings in his anti-spiral life, because only real friend was him, and they don't talk much to each other's. When they do it, it's all important stuff. Yeah. So then, and in this universe, or in this what if, should I say? Or I'll just say universe. In this universe, the one that's I'm doing right now, she was, or she is the granddaughter to the king, Spiral King. I was gonna say his daughter, or yeah, let's do that. So his daughter, or yeah, granddaughter, was not forced underground. She willingly can just go underground or come out at any time. So yeah, they're not forcing her to go underground and kills her. So yeah. So the Gurren Lagann, or I think Lagann is a helmet. Yeah, or a head. Hasn't responded to anyone since the spiral lost. But Zuko, or only 2 people know of its existence. Spiral King and Simone. But Simone owned, like, because his friend betrayed him, shot a beam at his chest, as he died, but he got reborn as the Simon the Digger. And he has a brother in is that has spiral power. As he so yeah. Blood brother? Sorry. So when he was growing up, the he still contains his memories of being anti-spiral. So yeah, he had to work with a drill. So as he operates the drill perfectly. He was the best driller in the entire city. He even one time he actually got he's trying to figure out how his as yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah. There he was drilling and he stumbled upon his like log on on the helmet part. And he before he found the keys to log on, as Logon remembers Zuko or not or Simon was the anti-spiral, but he because he was not the one that threw it into this planet. As yeah. So he brought as they heard or he hears the explosion, and as he was the as Logon this as he says as he looks at Logon and says, I know we had our differences, but it's hard for me to accept the spiral machine like yourself to help the anti-spiral win. Just please, he's saying this to Logon as the key inserted and turns, and before that the but like the entire universe. It's just like same thing in the anime in canon, but he figured out the truth between anti-spirals and spirals as he is tearing up as he's trying not to think about all those negative thoughts. So yeah, he ends up becoming the one who devours all. Yeah, so Logon and him work together as because the gunman that fell into a ravine thing or like fell through the ground was he in this what if or in this universe, Simon's not afraid, but he had taste of victory and defeat before, as he used his drill to drill the gunman all the way out of existence. It looked like, where is it? There it is. That was, so yeah, Simone was as absolutely winning as he says, my Jihad village. Man. As he, of course, his Gurren, as he's it brought him back a lot of memories of when he was spiral or anti-spiral, as he, of course, he sets him down, as he starts walking, or that machine, or he jumps out as he says, as, yeah, Gurren Lagann, or like Lagann, is sensing that Zuko is having those moments. So, yeah, as he tells Lagann that you're just I know that I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you really are the best machine, that they have to. Yeah. So, in a good way. So, yeah, he goes on a trip thing, and Spiral King's granddaughter, her brother was actually, because I'm changing it, and so, yeah, because him is her brother. So, yeah. So, but he was always a calm, collective one. But when they saw someone and came out of the whole thing, yeah. So he ends up um settling down as they're like or Logan's like they're actually Simone says to him, or let me remind you, Simone Hoon used to be the spiral general thing, or like I was gonna say the king. So now he's this. So he's walking around the entire air, like going all the way to the Spiral King to have unfinished business. So yeah. As Spiral King says, I see. Guess one of the anti-spirals has made it to this world. I see. As for generals, or like, oh, sorry, like him, her, flying one, viral, and that armadillo looking thing. I forget their names, so post them in the comments if you know their names. So, and I'm doing like viral, to be like, so viral was like, he required like the most dangerous weapon that no one could even control. That bothers me. So yeah, he actually, or there was one of the, or like Gurren, and got sent to like him, but he ends up taking it and ends up be like he went into a cave away from everybody. Not in the underground, just in the cave. So he had rebuilt, like adding all the like gunmen to it. So yeah, he and ends up piloting both of them at the same time. As he majestic fusion of both of them to create the logon. Or yeah, it's this one. By himself, like he walked thousand miles, and he took gunmen by himself on. Like, he had, they had, they haven't met Yoko, or he didn't have him because he was a brother to, where is it? To her. Yeah. And she was getting taken really good care of. And she's walking. Or, of course, he's walking because how the auti-spirals work. He actually took on the entire thing. Like, he took on Templin, I think. The one knife Eve got, or that one, by himself. So yeah, he used Gurren, or no, he used Logon to, and he, as he like knocked out the like he just flicked that raging wave guy away and ended up getting killed by his own weapon. So he says, huh, you humans, or you animals, don't have to pilot these. So yeah, he's taking, as he's literally hijacking everything, or not everything, but he used his auti-spiral power or actually he used, because his body was anti-spiral, but he got revived as a spiral. So his, yeah, like it was entwined. So yeah, he could control all machines. As yeah, he was back to his old self. As he says, huh, piloting one gunman, or piloting this gunman, and as yeah, he goes, and he had Colonel Logan's like symbol on his back. Like, do you see it? But a little bit more like blue flames. Yeah. And he shows up at Earth. He shows up, or actually, Simon shows up to, like, it has been a while since we last really battle. As he, of course, Simon says that to the Spiral King. As he says, come on in. We'll deal with us. As, yeah, he did it by himself. He hasn't met the black siblings. He has not met them, or him, or Ball and Bone and all those people. So he's solo. So he's basically, and he hasn't met Demi, Dari, and him. So yeah, he ends up like, let's finish this before I, as agreed. As they both jump out of their gunman ship. As, yeah, they start wrestling. Or they start pounding each other's like fist to fist, kicks to kicks, and sending them flying. But Simon was already stressed out because how overpowered he is. As he literally killed goodbye Spiral King, as he got killed. As he says, as he walks back to his Gundam, or his logon, or his Gurren logon, and ends up, in a way, as he's like, alright. As he looks up to the sky, we got that, my old enemy got taken care of. You know? And he actually picked up Lord Genome's body, as he says, you might be useful for. So, yeah. But now, moving on to my kind. He says to Spiral, as he felt something that's never, or felt like he's missing something from his life. Because he was anti-spiral warrior against, like, Spiral King was basically, sorry, I just woke up a couple minutes ago, so, yeah. So, he's, like, trying to think of what he's missing. Then the Black Eyed Peas, he's, like, shows up and meets Simon, as he is trying to remember when he's missing. As, yeah. As he walks up and says, "So you took out the Spiral King, right?" As he gets up, as he's a really buff man, he looks at him saying, "You must be Spiral Citizen, or am I right?" As he as he says, or because he says it means human in your in anti-spiral language. As he like, okay. As he's says, so yeah. He says, yeah, I am. So the but that doesn't answer my question of, did you defeat the Spiral King? Yeah. Me and him had a really long like battle to get it over with. As one of them, she points out what she sees, Lord Gnome's body, as he's giving him a proper burial. Oh. But he used syringe that he pops out of nowhere. Take Lord Gnome's blood. And yeah. So the Black Eyed Peas looks at him. "You're not from this world, aren't you?" As he looks at them, he says, "Nope. Plus I'm not the same species as you, spirals. That you have spiral power that will lead to your downfall." As that's not good. You must be the anti-spirals. Stories are true. Are. So he says, "Huh. Well, I'll give you some credit for that. But now I'm just upset. Give me a minute of..." Like, he wanted to just, like, hit someone. Like, he just literally wanted to just... Because, and he understands that. So, yeah. Everyone came back to the surface, and... Or, like... Simone was... basically... become a... this... But... he... as one of these shows up to like attack, but he transforms As yeah, he ends up getting like his power, like his anti-spiral and spiral power work together as he like basically created a shield or like shot it. But so he or I forget his name. So yeah. So Zuko or not or Simon knew who that these are unstable, so he as he kind of knew his soldiers like Jimmy, Dari, as he tells Jimmy Dari that don't or lured away from the city. As Jimmy Dari was, they couldn't. So yeah. So as he says, trust me, I know a thing or two. As yeah, Jimmy Dari says, "Oh yes, sir." As he says, reason why is because these things are unstable. Oh, we have to figure out a way to have you guys do what I'm doing. As he uses his powers again to like block that it off or like create a barrier after as he's like as he wasn't like being a dictator, he's just he had a long battle against like the Spiral King as he says to himself of that what should I do? I know these I know these spiral humans and need my support to rebuild. But I'm an anti-spiral. Spirals are our enemies. As he's trying to figure out, as he's comes in and he or they know that when he is trying to think in his head, he ends up getting like so ticked off. As one time they saw him get so mad, he literally threw a chair right across or the entire room. Like he was that powerful. So, and he knows that Simon's the anti-spiral. So, yeah, he basically told him to calm down. As he says, As, yeah, he's trying to calm Simone down. As, yeah, Simone calms down a lot as he, sorry about that, that's what Simone says, sorry about that, I had to, I'm debating about staying here and letting the rest of you build the city, but I'm more worried about that stupid moon. As he's trying to, so yeah, but now, before, tell us about how anti-spirals work. Or, as he says, well, we us anti-spirals learned it from an old geoglyph thing. Basically, we learned it from like stone, where our kings and queens became or knew about this situation, about spiral nemesis. And yeah, when humans try to evolve it too, but I see that I'm an anti-warrior, I learn a thing or two about it. And so I've been mostly fighting for my, and then as anti-spirals don't have like what you humans call love. As those people looked at him and like they couldn't believe that anti-spirals don't, as he says, oh, I see. And we mostly locked our bodies away until we all like, or until all of us agree and like doing all that stuff. So, yeah. And you all are probably asking, whatever happened to her or to him, to her brother? Well, both of them were actually, they were working with or for him. So, yeah, and heard that Simone was born as an anti-spiral before. So, yeah. As he asked him, forehead boy, I forget his name, to like see if we can regrow Lord Genome's head. Because something tells me that we need his like signature. As he, when he was because half of his eye, or like his eye on the left or right side, or no, yeah, right side went white. He still had anti-spiral things like what he has. As he covers it, as he's trying not to let anyone else see it. But everyone knows that he's a spiral. So, as sometimes he had really bad nights of him seeing Lord Genome's face, angry viciously at him. Like that. But he of course, like a singing Lord Genome was standing right next to him. He says, "Ah, it's a long time since I've seen you, hasn't it?" As he says, "Yeah, but now who?" And sorry for killing you, by the way. As he says, "I understand. It's not your fault, by the way, Simone. It's how it was. The war. You had to like kill the opponent, your enemies off." Yeah. So as he says, as he in his dream thing, he always sees her face. As Spiral King says, "Ah, that's my daughter, or my granddaughter. Her parents were the Spiral Warriors. But see that you killed, or you didn't kill them, someone else did. So, yeah. But now she's probably, as Simone says, she's probably mad at me for killing you." Nah, she never had the heart to do that stuff. So, yeah. He is being, like, of course, Viral was been, like, as he even does like that stuff. So one day, she decided to go up to Simone, or no, first to her brother. Or her brother walks up to her and tells her that you might be, are you interested in that boy, or in that our president thing? As she had that face, she's trying to decide, because she wanted to kill him because of what he did to Spiral King. As he, of course, she got this weird feeling that the Spiral King spirit was watching over her. As, yeah. So, Simon, um, of course, he has always been, like, he's trying to think about so many things. As one day, a kid and decided to pull him aside and how about we both like go and have some like to get the better known each other, okay? Okay. Usually anti-spirals like myself, oh, never hangs out with spirals like you. Yeah, come on. As they went to play video games, as he's of course, or he as he's looking outside as way about or you spirals are really like adds billions or whatever you want to the world. Yeah, but us spirals don't have like we don't lock ourselves in. As he is trying to think. As kid or him went and took Simon to like just talk with him. As he says, what is this about? Usually I have stuff to do more times than all of you put together. So, yeah, we're just, of course, he says we're here to talk because I know that you're thinking about so many things. You need like a break from it. Sure. I, as everyone that was at the like food place thing has agreed that he's been working too hard to trying to think as he gets overwhelmed with all that paperwork thing. Taxes are too high and all that stuff as he's overworking his body. So, yeah, he says spiral or anti-spirals warriors like myself has always been able to do under pressure, but we never had this much fun in a long time. So, yeah, he they're like looking at him, or everyone couldn't believe that because anti spirals of him as he notices that some kid, or like he, like, is there something bothering you? Yeah, but after the Spiral King and as he explains the Spiral King, I know that I really try not to kill my enemies that quickly, or that slow. But he and I, it was just for because he was an anti-spiral, like you humans. But now I see that I'm regretting it, as he's like literally like as he eats and like he, so that's why I'm regretting about killing him off like that. There's no point of war, as everyone that was at their room looked at him and like he's so bummed out that if he, or they couldn't believe that they rumors were true. So yeah, as he needs some alone time thing, so he paid a bill and like he went back to his office. As he is in deep thought. Like he's literally itching the back of his head. So yeah. What have I became? As yeah, he saved, of course, only person that, sorry, that really he hasn't met that's actually working for him was her. So yeah, she has met Mina, or no, her and her brother before. Then they couldn't believe. As yeah. So and he's just like trying to think in his head. As yeah. He needed as Logan and Gurren Logan was, so yeah, he hasn't been like himself, as it's interrupting his like train of thoughts, as the voices inside of his head saying, fight all the spirals, kill all of them. As he's like trying not to, he literally walked away, or he walked to his room. He sat down and he's like, as everyone was on pause, and this guy shows up. As he says, long day at work, I see. Soldier, or should I say, the Simone, the auti-spiral Simone. It's glad to see you again. Just, why are you here? Why? Well, that's easy. The message to you, just you. Go to the moon, Hoon, and there we will be. And don't worry, take back his pathetic ship. We don't need it anymore. As in this universe, the spiral thing, yeah. So he designed it to so perfectly that even it can handle space, time, reality, everything. As he goes up, or he adds like wings to it, and he flies all the way up to there. As he's trying to figure out how in the heck will he go into it. So so he ends up launching all the way to the moon, and he breaks in and Giga Core Drill Press as like because there was no one stopping him, turning it on, and controls. It converted back into the Cathedral Terra battleship type. Yeah. So, as he used his power to like change his genetics to the the moon came back into its old orbit. So Lord Genome's inside of his head saying, I'm impressed that you can change your molecules or your genetics things to match my own. As he says, no wonder my name when I used to be Spiral Warrior was the one who destroys all. So, So, he came back, as, crisis has averted, and so Now it looks like we will reanimate your head. Ah, yes, okay. As it, his head, like, does that thing, as he says, huh, it's good to see actual you. Your face thing, not the that body. But as between only two people that really do know that he's under a lot of stress because of his anti-spiral, or actually one person, was Spiral King. And the anti-spiral, oh, as he says, huh, as, yeah. So he walks past. Of course, as he grabs Simon's shoulder, as he says, I don't know, oh, who you are or what you are, as long as we're friends, okay? As he says, as he, like, he literally walked away. Because he was so unattached by everyone that, like, he's only doing it because the only people that do know that he's, like, ready to kill all the spiral or anti-spiral is him, 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 and him. So yeah, they 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 were they all 6 of them, and or 8 of them, know that he's so ready to get rid of the anti-spiral more than anyone. As, yeah, as he wrote down in his journal amount. Usually he has a planner. He has 2 different ones. One for, like, setting out his next moves, and the other was his personal one that he writes when what he's feeling. Or his true feelings. As, yeah. So, yeah. So, Simone ends up, or of course, he teleports Simone, or actually hooks a brain up after of that so that it processes. As he says, huh, looks like someone's trying to call me back to our home planet, or my home planet. As he gets, after it was done, so yeah, hooks him up and then all that stuff. Yeah. So Simone got teleported to the him as he says, "Huh. Now it's time for you to die a second time." As he's dodging it, as he says, "No, I want to live because for this spiral, oh, or not, I'm always regretting of being spiral soldiers. I learned both halves of the same truth. Spirals, as he's literally saying spirals and anti-spirals are just the board games ruled, like played by spiral and anti-spiral, or spiral nemesis. So yeah, so he ends up like he said ready, as he activated his full power, as he transformed into a more bigger version of Gurren Lagann. He allowed it himself to gather with the anti-spiral and spiral power, and he became a literal god. As yeah, so anti-spiral says, that must be your home world, am I right? He was in his monster form. He was gonna grab it, but then he grabs, or actually Simon grabs, "You're not gonna touch my earth. No one," as he throws, "I have a best friend in the world" swing, as everyone, or spiral swing, as they're and they all were looking at him and slamming, or he actually slams the anti-spiral down, as he says, "No matter who I have to kill, I'll keep on fighting." As he literally went in, he did that Giga Core or Giga Drill Press thing, and he died. And yeah, he came back, as he is happy about, or actually before, he was like that, and so everyone is trying to look for him. So when they went through one of his boxes and pulls out the one that looks like blue, and it says work planner thing. And then there, he looks at red as that. It says personal matter. As they read every word of in the personal one to find clues. As yeah, he tells or he wrote down. I should have told her what her name is, and I know I've always been avoiding her and her brother because what I did to Lorginum. But I think they have that grudge against me for a long time. But yeah, I wish that things gone a little bit differently. Anti-spirals and spiral had to work together instead of having to kill each other's. As and when they were reading it, they were tearing up. They couldn't believe how beautiful the handwriting was. Heck, she was reading it, and as she didn't know, or she remembers Lord Genome's handwriting was always perfect too. So, and there was more. She says, or it said, Lord Genome was the good opponent, but he and I should just been on the same team taking out the anti-spiral. As Forehead Boy, him asked Lord Genome, what about the team? How do you know Simone? As he says, well, he was my cousin, or not. He was, or so he says he is my opponent, but he and I are from two different worlds. But now he sees through my eyes of how much regret he has against the spirals. And of course, she read more about how that old fool and we had to battle because it was our, like, his he was a spiral. I was the anti-spiral warriors. We had to fight each other's until the one of us dies out. So that's why I had I had a lot of regrets killing spirals from left to right. I was programmed to kill or to fight every spiral that was in the facility. And yeah, so she had that face. She couldn't believe that she reading that. She couldn't believe that. And Lord Genome and him were always been like, it's how a cycle of life works. One tribe has to kill the other or get killed by something that's. See, it's the truth. He had no choice of fighting. If he didn't, he would have just got killed. And it is a truth. And so, Forehead Boy was laying, couldn't believe that Simone was forced to battle against a spiral. So yeah, in the intel, as Forehead Boy says, well, what I heard from Lord Genome, the head part, Simone wasn't, or got, or he got forced to be in this mess more. So part 2.